And we're live. All right, Tomisin, good evening to you. Good evening. So good to have you here. I don't know why for you it feels kind of new, and that's why I'm expectant because we've never talked before. We never had any conversation before, and I just want to say I'm so glad to have you here. So welcome guys, welcome everyone to the sixth edition of navigating the undergraduate journey. And I believe that you've had a great time so far. I believe that you've enjoyed yourself. I believe that you've learned something. And I believe that by now you've started taking steps and you are not just, holding all the knowledge in your head. My name is Catherine Tony and I'm the host for this program. All right, so if you need help, like I always say, please reach out to us. Don't keep quiet. Don't be silent. Reach out to us. We are always ready to help you whatsoever thing that you want us to do. And if you have any question, please reach out to us. And if you are joining us, please let us know in the comment section. Like say something, let us see you, let us know your name and where you are joining us from. So our speaker for today is Ajayi Oluwatomisin. She was here before. I'm going to have that again. So yes, once again, Tomisin, I'm so glad to have you. I'm so glad to have you, and I'm super excited. I'm expectant, like so expectant, because I know that I'm going to hear something that I've never heard before in my life today, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, in a few minutes, can you just introduce yourself and introduce us into what you'll be saying today?
All right, good evening, everyone. And thank you.
Evening.
Thank you to me, Kitchen Tomilova, for this honor. I'm actually very happy to be on this with you. It's indeed a big honor.
We can't really hear you. Like you're not really loud enough. Like it's not really so loud.
Oh, all right. Is it audible now? Like, is it better
Yes,
now?
yes, it's better now.
Okay. Thank you. So, like I was saying, I said I'm indeed glad to be on this show. It's a pleasure, and I do not take it for granted. Okay, like you said earlier, Oluwatomisin Ajayi, yes, and I'm an entrepreneur. Although people say I'm a conglomerate, and I took up the title because maybe entrepreneur has you being in just one line of, let me say, business or something, but this is me doing a lot. I'm into fashion designing, I'm a chef, I'm a beverage coyer, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm an instrumentalist. There's a whole lot I'm into. So that's how we found out that okay, being a conglomerate is better than saying I'm an entrepreneur. And tonight I'm here to, share my own experience on the theme navigating the undergraduate journey, how it was for me, what I did, and how it helped me. Because presently being a graduate, I definitely have some experience that I would like to share. And I hope this
Yeah.
night everyone.
Okay, so just for a confirmation, I don't know if it's because your phone is far from you or something. Like the sound goes off sometimes, like it's not really that audible. Or maybe I'm the one not hearing you clearly. Please, if you can hear her very well, let me know in the comment section. Please and please just say something. If you can really hear our guest speaker well. So we're going to start with the questions, but then I just wanted to ask that, how do you do everything that you do? Like I know I do many things also, but looking at everything that you do, there are some that they are not even in line. You understand? I know every most of the things I do are kind of in line. Okay, yeah, they said they can't hear you also, they cannot hear you. So please can you just maybe you can move closer to your phone or you can increase your voice. I don't know if that's possible.
Okay,
You said?
is it quite better now? Like, is it audible than it was before?
Yes, it is. It is now. It is. Thank you. So I was saying that how do you do everything that you do? How do you do it? Because based on what you said now, you say you're a fashion designer, you are and I know that you do, is it cocktail or zobo or something? I don't know. There was something that you did in school.
Yeah, that's
Yes, you
under
do.
the business actually.
That's under what?
The beverage business. Like I run a beverage koi actually, so that was one of
Okay,
my.
okay, okay. Nice. So how do you do everything that you do? How do you do it?
It's actually a long story because there are so many things that I do that surprises me too. It started from the fact that I'm the last child of the family. There is a normal. mindset that comes to you being the last born. They feel okay, they are a spoiled brat. Okay, you are not independent or something. But this is me in the center of work and doing what a regular last born may not be able to do. But for me, I
Yeah.
feel hereditary. Yes. For me, let me start with that. Aside maybe having to meet up with some things that involve me in so many things, it's genetic. I have a mother that is extremely strong and she's very, very nocturnal. Like she doesn't sleep at night. You know, there are some people that they have this strength at night. So whether you're doing something or not, you just cannot get to sleep. And even if you get to sleep, you just sleep for a little while. So
Yeah.
during the day, you will never really catch me sleeping. But at the same time, at night, I still would not sleep even if I had a long day. So it's like I have more than the regular time that every normal person would have. Because when everybody works, they retire to bed at night. But me, whether I work or not, I always have like an extra time because I'm always very, very active at night. So I just found out along the line that okay, I have this strength. And when I tried to trace it, it's not like I don't like to sleep. Then I found out that I had a mother that was very, very nocturnal, and I was like, okay, I think I inherited this thing. And I did not just use myself as the daisies. I have a niece, my other sister's daughter. She's a baby. Presently, she's 2 years old. This girl too does not sleep at night. Like while our fellow babies, like our age range, are sleeping, maybe about 8 or so. This girl is awake till 12, till 1. So I found out that it's hereditary for me. And then two, situations brought me into it and I had no choice and eventually it became a part of me. Like I always tell people that person wey no get helper suppose get sense. So even if I wanted luxury and all, the situations I found myself, I found out that I needed to go the extra mile. So it's not like it was so palatable for me. I've always
Mm.
wanted my rest to, yes, I would want that gap, I would want that break. But I know there are a lot of things to meet up with. So even when I want to rest, I just cannot. And doing it over and over just kind of strengthened me and it now became a part of me. So it was now looking like an easy task juggling so many things. So that's just it for me. And I feel it's also a grace because it's actually very rare. Like people will tell me.
Mm. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm not saying that people should always have the mindset of there's nobody to help me. But I feel that everyone should have a mindset that you should not be dependent on anybody. When I say dependent now, you should not, you know, be that kind of person that will always want to, you know, rely on someone before you can have even the smallest thing. I'm not saying you should not ask for help, but don't enjoy being too dependent on somebody. The person you are dependent on also have a lot of things to do.
Of course.
So this is another thing we can actually pick, because many people might say that, oh, I have everything, my father is rich, my parents are rich, my siblings are rich, why should I bother? Will you not get tired of asking all the time? Like, do you feel fulfilled always asking and bringing nothing to the table?
Mhm.
Then if you are satisfied with that kind of life, I mean, there's something wrong with you, because
Obviously.
that is not a normal kind of life. That is not a normal way to live when everything about you is always dependent on somebody else. You cannot even afford even the smallest thing. So, from what you said now, I'm not even saying that we should, whether you have someone to help you or not, it doesn't matter. Make sure you have something you are bringing to the table. Make sure you have something you are engaging in. Make sure you have something that you can even say that you are doing for yourself. And I would say that for your age, it's amazing for you to have that kind of mindset. Even now, I'm very sure it's not just now or maybe the year you have now that you started having that kind of mindset. It has started before, and it shows how far you are going to go and where you are going to get to. It's really, really amazing. I'm happy about that. All right, so we will go into our questions now, but I just want to give a brief intro to why this topic came out. One of
Okay.
the reasons that this topic came out is because I personally, when I was an undergraduate, I encountered some things. and it was not so favorable. And I know that that experience is not just for me and me alone. I know that it's not just going to happen to me alone, that there are other people it has happened to. And thankfully for myself and glory to God, I was able to overcome those situations. Now, there are people that they are not able to overcome. There are people that they are still suffering from the mistake they made when they were an undergraduate. There are people that are still suffering on for it till now. So I realized that this is actually a particular phase that we can come in to help other undergraduates or maybe high school graduates to know how they can, navigate through their life on campus or even before they gain admission. And when you talked about the fact that you lead a teens and youth meeting, I never thought that you do something like that. Like, it never came to my mind that you did something like that. And when you say you do something like that, I'm like, wow. Because when the thought of you came to my mind, it didn't come to my mind that I knew that you were doing something related to teens, or youth. It didn't come to my mind like that. Although I used to see your posts on status and everything, but I didn't really, and on relationship, but I didn't know that you were someone that, you were really into this, teenagers' life and helping people. But when you said that, I'm like, God does not make mistake. You know the reason why it brings people, into his space. He knows the reason why it brings people to take charge of his things because he knows that this is the person that you need at this point. And I know that tonight you are going to, open so many people's eyes to see light through your experience, through the steps that you took. You're going to open so many people's eyes to see light. And most people that have hidden questions that they've not asked anybody, through your story, they will be able to get answer. They'll be able to see the way forward. And once again, we are so, so glad to have you on this platform. So now, before we go to our question, do you have any question that you want to ask before we go into the first question?
None for now. Maybe later I have, but for now I don't.
Okay. All right. So the first question says, what were you like before you gained admission? What were you like before you gained admission?
Okay. What was I like before I gained admission? That question is actually so big because I don't even know where to pick it from, to be honest.
Mm.
Firstly, I gained admission 4 different times. Four
You
different
gained
times.
admission when?
4 different times. Yes. God so good. I ended my secondary school education back in 2014. That's about 9 years ago or so now. So, oh, yes, okay. This is 2023. Yeah, that's like 10 years ago now, going to the 11th year. Okay, so I graduated from secondary school back in 2014, and just after I rested for a month after my WAEC, I enrolled in a fashion school. My dad encouraged me to pick up that skill, and I was there, learning that vocation, trying to equip myself while we thought about school. In my family, my parents believe that okay, when you finish secondary school, you should not write jam. Like you have to write your jam 1 year after. It's not like we couldn't have written the jam, but they're like, just take life, one at a time. So we just had that mindset that once you are done with secondary school, before you can think of jam, it's the following year. So whether you want to learn a vocation or you want to work or do anything, you have at least that 1 year before you start pressing on for jam. So while I left secondary school, I joined a fashion school where I was learning fashion designing. So along the line, I had an elder sister that was in University of Guinea, and there was this program that came up. They call it JUPEB. JUPEB is just like this A levels. I think they call it IGMB in many schools. But at that time, Uniben was running JUPEB, and JUPEB was that was the first of its kind in Uniben at that time. So she was just like, promising. Okay, even though we've not taken, let's try JUPEB. Okay, you're brilliant, you're this, you're that. And then I signed in for JUPEB, and my wife was not even out then. So I chose Uniben, through JUPEB, and I passed the entry exam. And after the whole thing, I gained admission to study medicine. That was back in 2014. But as things happened, something led to another, and I left. It was a very, very hard thing to do because medicine is like one of those hot cakes in Nigeria, like hot cake because people are looking for the money. And then I just got it on a platter of gold. But something came up and I left. So when I left, I was determined to work even harder because I wanted medicine. So I was like, okay, let me prepare for JAM, the following year and everything. Along the line, I wrote a scholarship exam and I gained admission to study medicine again. And that was in Ukraine. It was not even a Nigerian university. So I gained admission and something led to another and I lost it because as I then I was not really sure we could even afford, the cost of schooling abroad. Although there were some benefits because it was a scholarship scheme, but I still needed my personal money for my travels and everything. So to cut the long story short, I also, forfeited the Ukraine medicine scholarship of a thing. So I wrote jam the first time. I passed. I was very hopeful, and I didn't get the admission. So 2015 went down the drain, and I lost the Ukraine admission. 2016, I wrote jam again, and when I wrote jam again, I passed. That time, I think I had 286. I picked the University of Ibadan. They refused to give me admission. They didn't even give me anything at all with that kind of score. So that 286 just wasted like that, and I was like, what did I not do right? So I was just there like, and this moment when you are seeking admission, you have friends that you feel like maybe they were not even smart. They would have gained
Mm-hmm.
admission. You that you look brilliant and oh yeah, battling with it, and everybody's asking what happens. If you work, you can't work freely because you can meet maybe an old teacher that will be like, school or lower, that kind of a thing, and you'll be like, Mommy, I'm not. They begin to look at you like you're not doing something good with your life. So that admission, I lost it. I didn't get anything from University of Ibadan. So fast forward to 2017, I took exam again. That was the third exam. Because at that time, I was done in my fashion school. I had graduated. I graduated and I was working as a school teacher. So whenever I close, I go home, I sew if I have one or two jobs. So I was juggling between teaching and my sewing and I picked jam again. But around that time, I think I was so choked. I didn't really do so well in that jam. I had 210. I didn't attend tutorial. I didn't read. I didn't even maybe I had lost hope on this whole admission of a thing. So I just did that when I said I just told myself that students cannot enter medicine. Me that I have 26 and they did not, then as at then I was still open and that was why I because I'm like, if UI is a federal university and the certification is high, maybe OOU will give. But I was already choked with work and everything. I was teaching, I was sewing, I had extra lessons students, and I was taking basic six back then. And they were preparing for common entrance. So I didn't even have time for myself. How I even scored 210 was because of residual knowledge and all. So it just happened and boom, admission list came out. In fact, that year was even funny for Olabisi Onabanjo University. Because in my life, all I know is first list and second list. So when I heard first list was out, I didn't see my name. I gave up. Then I heard there was a second list. Second list came out. I did not see my name. I told myself, it is finished. Like, I was so mad. A week after that incident, I got another opportunity to study abroad. But this time it was not really abroad per se, but it was in a republic. So this time I got nursing. So that was like the third opportunity I would have in the medical field. And then I told my mom, it is this school nothing, or else I'm not going to write jams again. So I'm like, see, there's no flight money in this one. This one we're going to board bus. So there's nothing like there's no money for visa or something. So I was really fighting them at home that how can I be writing jam and I'll be passing and they should even throw me somewhere. They're not going to throw me. So my mommy was like, okay, that was a good idea. And then somebody just brought in the family and was like, they shouldn't let me go to the Republic. Like the country was full of armed robbers. And then I was going to go there and get corrupt. And I'm like, am I a baby? What kind of mindset is that? And because of that statement, my mom was like, I wasn't going. Like that person literally became my enemy because the person was like a stumbling block. Like, how could you say such a thing? So I gave up and then I felt sick. I don't know why. I just felt sick. And I remember it was a Friday, and I just received a call from a colleague, and the person was like, "Have I checked my name?" And I said, "One name." They said, "On OU list." I said, "Nobody has released first and second list." They said I should check that there is a third list. I said, "Me, third list? No, I'm brilliant than third. What's third list?" And then I checked though, I play like play. And then I saw the course, animal production. I agree. They even show me to maybe nursing, or although I had a good score for my post UTME, but the jam was low. But in my mind, I felt you can throw me to SLT, like MLS, medical lab science, or something still, in that box of maybe health stuff or the thing. Not throw me to
Health
agree.
related.
What kind of course is animal production safe? I've never
Hmm.
heard it in my life. Agric is agreed. What is animal production? But I found out that I had energy on my sick bed. Then I ran to my dad. Dad, me, I'm still in admission, no, and I'm going. And my mom was like, congratulations and everything. And boom, my daddy just said, what course? I said animal production. My daddy said, no, it's not. That kind of a course does not exist. And I was looking at the man that Mr. Man is not scrambled, like it's on the school portal. This one is not they saw my name. So, but it was very hard to believe that what kind of a course was that. And then I just told myself that I don't even want to know again. Let me just get out of this house. And everybody has that mentality that I want to go, I want to go. Even when people in school tell you that there are lots of hardships, you tell yourself that yes, let me gain admission. I want to see that hardship too. So I just wanted to leave the home because as a the last child, I was also the only one at home. So all the house chores was on me, and I still had my personal work to do. So it was choking, and I was like, when I get to school, I'll have that freedom. And I just told myself, I said, whether this choice is calm or not, me, I'm going. And that was how it was. But for the 3 years that it didn't work, it wasn't palatable. Although as Christians we are positive, we just keep open. When you have counselors around, you start advising you, before you rise again, if you fail, you do this again. But the thing about my case was not like I was failing. I didn't fail jam, I didn't fail, but I wasn't getting the admission. In fact, that very year that I eventually gained that admission, I was telling my mom, I said, "Mommy, God really saved me because if I had not gained that admission and she really stampeded me from going to business, I wouldn't have forgiven her because everything that keeps working, you keep saying no. The one that you want to work is not working. Even that year, my pastor's wife said something that made me, so much in tears just because of this admission of the thing. She just saw me and she was like, "Girl, Otin Dagba." That was the statement she made. She was like,
Hmm.
what was I saying about my schooling?" And I'm like, "Mommy, I don't know." She said, "Did I write jump?" I said, "Yes, I did." And then she was like, "What did I score?" I said, "Well, this year I have to 10." And oh, and the pastor's wife was like, "I was not smart." And I looked at her like, what was she trying to insinuate? And then she was like, "I wasn't smart. That how can I be writing jump for good 3 years and not gain admission? That where did I put the option of GPEB? Where did I put the option of IJMB?" I started talking. She even sent me home. Said she was like, "My mom is an educationist because she runs a school. So she felt like my mom should, know better, should have gotten me in school. But in my family, we didn't work admission. My mom will never pay to anybody to give you anything in school or anything." So she just told me that and she was like, "Okay, I should do JUPEB." And then I was like, "Mommy, I've done JUPEB before in University of Benin." And she didn't even allow me learn because I remember that I had done my clearance in University of Benin. I had started classes. I was already rated as a medical, like there was a preference for medical students in Uniben. Our hostels were separate. We had luxury that regular courses candidates don't have. So the woman never knew what I went through. So when she mentioned Julia, and I was like, "Mom, I've done Julia, but something like something, and I have to do." She just come and she was like, "Oh, Moweni." When she said,
Hmm.
"Oh, Mo," I was like, "Me, oh, Mo,
What does she
me."
mean?
This is me who represent my school back then in secondary, and I have awards to that effect. And then she was like, "She has a son. Her last born is in I think UI, or I can't remember." And he was like, "Her last born did JUPEB." And at the end of the whole thing, he had 16 points, and now he's in medicine, he's a level. Than me. It's because I wrote the exam and I did not pass, and I'm just covering up and all. Like I literally went home that day and I was crying because me that I gained admission to study. Do you think it's easy for me to decide to take my bag and leave if it's not like something happened? For all those
Mm.
years, I had the most bitter experience in 2017, and that was eventually the breakthrough year for me. But I remember I cried a lot and I was telling God that God, this admission say I just have to gain it. And then I now gained, they're succeeding me. But thank God for OU. OU saved me in that year. Thank God the funny course now. Then it's not something that I could like I can now say, okay, I'm a graduate here. Even if I don't want to work in that field, maybe I'll find myself better.
Yeah.
I could say, are you a graduate? Yes, I am. And it's to the glory of God. So that's just it.
Hallelujah.
Praise
Okay. Okay. That was really good. That was really, really good. And talking about where you've been coming from and where you are now, it does not define actually what you've gone through. And there's this saying that people used to say that I thank God I don't look like what I've been going through. You
that's what I'm
understand? You don't look like it. Like you don't people don't know actually, but you don't look like it, right? And that's the kind of person that you were before you gain admission. But beyond what you went through, admission things, the drama from your house, like personally, personally, okay, I know you learned fashion designing, I know you learned, so many things, you were involved in some things, but personally, as a person, what were you like? What kind of person were you before you gain admission? Like what kind of character, attitude, behavior, posture, mindset did you have? That kind of thing before you gain admission. I'm not even talking about the things you did. Like, you've told us about the things you did. Now, personally, by yourself, because we're actually going somewhere, what were you like before you gain admission?
okay. What I was like before I gained admission. Hmm, I don't know where to take it from because this session is just like opening a lot of things about my life, and
Mm,
I'll let it flow as it comes. Firstly, I happen to be a very reserved person. Like you can easily see me and call me an introvert. Let me put it like that.
mm,
You will not really catch me talking, but when I'm in the company of people that I know, I'm very very comfortable to relate. Now, I found out that everyone is a product of a lot of things. Sometimes the environment we find ourselves, sometimes the
mm-hmm,
upbringing, sometimes situation. Okay, I had a personality that nobody ever knew, and this is one of the realest things I'm about to say here. I think when I was talking before, I mentioned the aspect of being a last born, and being a last born generally, you are like a spoiled brat. You're like somebody that has everything you want. They feel if you need something, we can always get it because I'm from a family of seven, my parents and five of us. So I have four elder siblings and two parents, the father and the mother figure. So whenever people see me as this happy girl, like she's an happy girl, she's a last one, she's enjoying, she's luxury. Then a few people that know my parents will judge me from what they are, like their personality. But deep down, I was a girl that was so independent, and that independence was in a quarter of gold. I started, taking up responsibilities since I was in secondary school.
mm,
When life wanted to show me the first glimpse of shege, let me put it like that. My dad retired in 2013 while I was in SS2. And after he retired, he worked with the private sector. So after he retired, finances changed in the family. All the luxury my siblings had, I think my immediate elder sister, she's not even immediate, she's 6 years older than I am. So while I was in secondary school, I had siblings that were graduates, And I had siblings that were in school and they had the luxury of financially capable parents. But at the
Mm,
time I was, trying to find my feet, trying to stand, I did not have that luxury that they had.
mm,
But people never saw that. So I found myself struggling at a tender age, despite having parents that people felt they were, capable. Let me put it that way. So there was a time nobody knew my daddy wasn't active. And my mom that was active in her own field had too much to do. So I was now like at the receiving end. All
mm,
the things in my family that looks like a norm. For example, now if you gain admission in my house, you go for shopping. You want to buy
mm,
suits, buy clothes, you want to buy hair. Like the way you will pack sack, they'll think you are going for maybe you're going to a country for like maybe the rest of your life. But when it got to my turn, there was no luxury of such. So I found myself struggling at a very tender age. And these struggles were like pain that later became trophies for me because I saw too much that I shouldn't have seen as a teenager. And
mm,
it's so hard to focus because the struggles I was going through, if not because I discovered myself early in life, I would have easily strayed away because I was like a child that lived in affluence and suddenly the affluence was cut off. So trying to balance life after that was so hard. And if not because I was, standing already in Christ, it would have been so easy to fall. It would have been so
yeah.
easy to get. So instead of me to get enticed, I found myself struggling to stand to provide what should be provided for me.
Mm,
So me now saying, okay, I'm a chef, I'm a this, I'm a that, it did not start on a platter of gold. Like I really, really went through hell. I got my first phone myself. There were a lot of things that a normal child would get from the parents. I went to get my first phone. Yes. I remember I used 2 months salary to buy Infinix Hot 2 back then. And at that time, when I bought my phone, none of my siblings ever bought a phone for themselves. So I found out that I was just struggling. When I want something, I understood I didn't have a phone that I was working as at that point. So as at that point, I just found myself struggling, working, and if I want something, I have to work for it. I cannot just say, daddy, I want this, and I will get it. I couldn't go to my mom because before I go, I'm always overthinking that this woman already has a lot. So sometimes it's so painful, sometimes I will cry, but let's just put it there. I didn't really have an happy life, like as a teenager, but with Christ, I was able to find balance and I was able to become a better version of myself. And I'm glad that everything eventually worked out for good.
mm. Wow. Glory to God. Glory to God. There are so many factors that you could list out for you to, be any kind of person. Because, like what I said during one of the speakers, like there are some reasonable excuses. There's some excuses that some people will give you for not passing a course or for not writing an exam, and it should just make sense. Like, okay, I didn't have money, or my money for school fees was not enough. It was not complete. Those are, understandable excuses that, okay, yes, you really lacked this thing. But you have excuses that are understandable because you are coming from a background from when you were small, and all of a sudden you were going into a new phase in your life and everything just stopped. The things that you have seen your siblings enjoy and you have been anticipating that, it will soon be my turn. It will soon be my turn. When is my turn? And I know that for, every teenager, we used to have this kind of mindset, like once it's happening in your family and it's coming like a trend, you will know that it will definitely fall on you. Right. So you're already prepared. You might have even been thinking about the things that you will get, the things that you will buy, things that you will take to school and everything. And all of a sudden, everything just went off. You had every reason to say, ah, will it still work? You have every reason to just, relax and say, ah, my family, we are going through a lot of things. Let me just manage. You had every reason to even say, okay, you just want to focus on your fashion design and you're not going to school. Like the money that they used to send you to school, they should just give you, no school and everything. And I'm not saying that doing that is bad, but you still took steps to go beyond your limits, like beyond the things that you can even afford, beyond the things that you can even retain within yourself. Because as a teenager, you had experienced so many things already. You had seen so many things already, and which is, should I say that is kind of young for someone to experience that kind of a thing. But thankfully, you did not see it as a weakness. Thankfully, you do not see it as a weakness. And this is me saying to everyone that is watching, or even if you're an undergraduate or you've not even gained admission, what is your vision? What exactly are you aiming at? Because one thing about vision is that once you see where you are going to, once you see, just see it, there is a drive that will come in your spirit, that even when nobody is seeing what you are seeing, that as long as you are saying it, you will do all it takes to make sure that you achieve it. That is the powerful thing about vision. If you had not seen that you wanted this and you wanted to achieve this, you would have sat down comfortably at where you were. That is how it is. So if you're an high school graduate, you are not too small to start mapping out the things that you want to achieve, the positive things that you want to achieve, the things you want to gain, the things you want to gain. And this will actually take me to my next question, because based on what you said now, I feel that no, not the next question. It's actually the I think the fourth question that has to do with your life as an undergraduate, because this is actually going to lead us into how, based on where you are coming from, with a mindset, with an experience. I'm very sure you are still going to meet people that they were soaking in money, they were living in money, and thinking about how you were still able to be, come out well, is actually really going to be a long conversation. But let me just ask the second question. When you hear the word undergraduate, what comes to your mind? When you hear the word undergraduate, what comes to your mind?
Well, it's simple. Undergraduate. It's not a new word to anybody. It just depends on the angle you're seeing it from. But
Okay.
generally, being an undergraduate, everybody knows you are a certificate aspirant. Yes, you want to get your BSc, you want to get your OND, you want to get your HND or something. It shows that okay, you are a student, irrespective of the institution, and then you're aspiring towards something. Whether it's your choice or not, everybody just knows
Hmm.
you are in a particular institution and you're working towards something. And that something is the title. You want to be a graduate. You want to have that, whether you want to work with it or not. I think that's like the realest response I can give. Hoping that everybody who is an undergraduate eventually gets to the end, because many people will start, but not everyone will get to the finish line. But generally, if you're an undergraduate, if I hear the word undergraduate, I just see you as a certificate aspirant. Like, okay, yes, you can choose to work with it, you can be in the right seat, you can be in the wrong seat, but everybody definitely knows you'll come out with a certificate someday and you'll be able to have that with you. At least to the end of time, depending on what you want to do. So that's just it.
Hmm. That's a positive one actually, because when I asked most of the speakers this question, they were actually giving positive ones. But do you know that there are people that when you tell them I'm an undergraduate, like just tell them that okay, I'm an undergraduate. There are people that will just give you this kind of okay, how are you even living? Are you sure you have good character like this? Like there's a kind of mindset that comes with being an undergraduate. There's a kind of mindset that circulates around undergraduate. Like you just believing that these people, they are going through something, or they are people with bad characters, or people that there are people that nobody is guiding them, right? They are in school, nobody's looking at what they are doing. So everybody's mindset is that I'm going to kushe. You get like you are doing something bad in school. So when they are telling them undergrad, they'll be like, more tí wọ́n ṣe o, like, the kind of child abi the kind of child that you are. Don't forget the way you live o. Like, they will start giving you so many advices and you be wondering like, what's going on? What did I say? So there's a mindset that comes with that. And most people actually give something positive, right? There's even one of the speakers that said something like, when she hears the word undergraduate or when she sees them, the thought of opportunities come to her mind. And that is it. Like, you having access to do so many things, you having access to choose your career, choose your life pattern, choose the things that you want to do, you having the opportunity to start building
Mm.
before you get, before you become a graduate. And this is not even for undergraduate. There are people that see graduates and when they see you, the next thing they'll ask you is that Shotirishe? Because there's a mindset behind so undergraduates should take time before they see job. Especially if you tell them I just graduated last year, they'll look at it like, how far should it serve? And they'll ask you, have you served? Have you seen job? Because they know that, especially if you're in this Nigeria, they know that it will take time for most undergraduates to see job. So there's a kind of mindset behind these words to people, even people that are so innocent. And it is not only to this set of people, even to youth. When some, let me say, adults or even some youth themselves, when they hear about youth meeting, all they think about is nonsense they want to go and do there. Like, just tell them that we're having a youth hangout, like a youth get together. Their mindset is, I'm not going there. If you ask them why, because they used to do nonsense. Like, think about it. Why will you have that kind of mindset? You've not been there, you've not experienced it. There are even some high school graduates. They have a particular mindset about people that go to school. So they are going to school with that mindset. So once they are entering school, it's everything that they thought about of what they watch inside movie. Nigerian movie, Yoruba movies, like the way they will act being on campus, it will be like it's only boyfriend and girlfriend that they used to do there, and they don't used to go to class. They will not show them going to class. They will only show when Curtis is following them. Abi they will only show when one boy like one girl and the girl does not like the boy and the boy shall force the girl and the boy sleep with the girl. They will shall show all those kind of things. So there's a mindset that if I get to school, one boy will shall be following me up and down. And there's a mindset that if I not tell the boy yes, the boy too will rape me. Oh. So people are getting this mindset from different things, different places. And it is important to put it out there that wait until you even experience it. Wait
Yeah.
until you experience it. And when you are going into a new phase, when you are going into whatever thing you are going to, make sure that you have something prepared for yourself. What exactly do you want to achieve in this phase? If you are entering as an undergraduate, what exactly do you want to learn in this place? What are you going for? If it's for CGPA, fine. If it's to make friends, go there and make friends, make good friends. If it's to discover purpose, go there and face. As long as they are facing your studies, go there and face your purpose or discover purpose. So, what is the reason you are going into school? And make sure that whatever thing that you have in mind concerning undergraduate, it is positive. Because as an high school graduate, if it's not positive, it's going to affect you a lot when you get to school. It's going to affect you a lot. You don't see that everything that you have in your mind concerning campus is how your life will just be on campus. And you'll be wondering, I was not like this before. You were not like that before, but you had a belief in your heart concerning this particular phase. So now, like what Tomisi said, she said something about acquiring a certificate. Yes, that's another positive thing. You are going there. That's even the primary assignment. You are going there to acquire a very good certificate, not just to collect pali. There are pali and there's some pali that you cannot even bring out at all. You cannot even show
Exactly.
any, even you cannot even say that this is pali that I brought from school after 60, after 5 years. So why exactly are you going to school? If you're an high school graduate, make sure you have something positive in mind that you want to achieve if when you're on campus. Make sure you have something positive. There are many good things that happen on campus. Forget Yoruba movies, forget Nollywood, forget those things and carry a positive mindset to school. And if you're an undergraduate, you also need to carry a positive mindset as you journey in school. And if you're not any of this, you're not graduate or undergraduate, you don't even go to school at all. And your own mindset is just to be pulling people down. It is high time for you to take those mindsets down. Because don't go and pour on people that are innocent. Don't go and pour on them. I was teaching a teenagers class one day, and all of a sudden, one girl just walked up to me and she was telling me that that Auntie is jam hard. When she asked me that question, I looked at her, I said, what class are you? She said SS1. I said, you're an SS1. You've already heard that jam is hard. Look at that. Like she has not
Mindset.
even gotten to SS2, SS3. She just entered SS1. But people that have gone ahead of her have fed her with rumors that jam is hard based on their own experience. I just have to tell her that jam is not hard though. There are people that pass their jam once and they enter school once. So because I wrote my own jam 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, now that will not mean that is will apply to everybody. No, no, whatever thing that happened to you applies to you and you alone.
Yeah.
Even if you
Yeah.
see that you see it happen to somebody else, just know that that person too, it has happened to that person, but doesn't mean that it's going to circulate. So let's carry a positive mindset so that you can help somebody out. There are many people that they are scared of going to university because of what they've heard or what their siblings have gone through. So the main purpose of this question is just to, put out there the essence of positive mindset concerning so many things. We're talking about undergraduate, so there's so many other things that people are even scared to do because of what they've heard
What
of
an
what.
undergraduate, it even depends on the person who is saying it and how the person is saying it. Because when I was
Yeah,
talking about it, it's just like there is just a sole purpose in school. You want you want to get the certificate. And there are a lot of us that are into what we want to do, but we still do it that
I
okay,
can't
let
hear
me
you.
like a lot of people. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. Like a lot of people don't even get to study what they want to study. But yes, they still do it. And they are doing it for that certificate. Like, let me just have it. Even when we feel like, okay, I would, try something else, we still just have that goal, like, okay, let me to just have this thing. Then you were talking about those that were okay, I think you gave a view of people thinking bad of a personality like, oh, because you're in school you're into nonsense. First, I think it depends on the individual's personality
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
have some notion. There are some names, there are some schools that once you hear their name, you're like, oh, some gidi con school yẹn. Okay,
Yes.
not
Yes.
to defame, not to defame any institution. Mapoli, for instance, there was a time Mapoli was like a school of alo. If you hear Mapoli, you're like it's a school of Olosho. But
There's
then
the
I had
mindset
people,
that comes with it.
yes, and I had people in Mapoli that were doing well. Now, we that we
Mm-hmm.
did not go to Mapoli, I saw things that were worse than things that Mapoli students would do, even in my campus. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
even have to go to the main campus. We were in the mini campus, and things were good, hard things. But speaking on that aspect, I feel it's just about the individual. For somebody like me, I've never met somebody who saw me and was like, ah, Ayele ti baje, or because I'm a student, they feel like I'm one bad person. Some individuals, the attitude they put up at home naturally, the things they do in church, on the street, people already have a mindset that tell about what school by, it is gone like Otilo. So I think these things are what give rise to people's mindset, like, oh, that's just how school is there. Even when you are like a good girl at times, because some people have been in school and they have seen what good girls ended up to be, like pastor daughters, they are good at home and you just find them on campus, you see them doing crazy things and they just feel like even if you look good at times, someone even say it to you, but then they'll just be like, once you get to school like this, it is over. But I think there is still that silver line in every cloud, like, okay, I know this one is not like that. Like, okay, I can vouch for this person. But generally, the university ground or whether polytechnic ground or wherever anybody can find themselves, I feel it's a grassland for opportunity. It now depends on how well you can see and how well you can maximize it. But hearing the word undergraduate, I still stand on the fact that the common goal is to study. Even when you begin to see that other things are trying to, sway you away, it
Hmm.
you will still, make yourself conscious that no,
Yeah,
I'm
don't forget that you're here to study.
So that thing just keeps ringing. Even if you want to do 1,000 things, at least I ran many businesses in school. There was a time I had to work as a chef in an hotel, and I was even in final year. That's the funny thing. And you know how final year can be tough. And then I think in my final year also, I was a teacher in a secondary school. I think you know that
Hmm.
to compose. I was their teacher for
Wow.
like 8 before I signed out. So it was draining because I would take practicals, I would have to run to work, I had my personal kitchen. I was really doing a lot. And my parents know that I have to do it, to like help up myself out. But at the same time, I know that they no bomb me way. I should not come and say, I failed or something. So even while we still cut across, see opportunities, do this and do that, we still know that, I'm here to study you. Me and my
Don't
God of
forget.
faith. I was not
Mm-hmm.
after. So that's one common goal that I feel is for every undergraduate is that sole purpose of, okay, I came here to study and I must pass. Like, I don't even want a bad record. Although it happens that some have, speed overs can mark that straight journey. But that common goal still remains common that everybody is there that certification. Well, I hope the
Yeah.
certification will help us change because not everybody gets to work with it. I mean, to work with it like that. So, but let's just thank God.
Glory to God. So that's just it. Don't forget your primary assignment. Even if we say it so much, even when we see in fellowship, we come to fellowship, pray everything, but don't forget your primary. Don't forget it. Don't forget it because it's not fellowship that will give you job. It's not fellowship that will pay your school fees. Hmm. So
Mhm.
don't forget it. So know how to balance. We are still going to get to balance and maximizing time. So now the third question, say, what would you say is the struggle of most undergraduates in general now?
Hmm. What would I say is the struggle of most undergraduates?
In general.
There are many struggles out there, but I
Mm-hmm.
think first, firstly, I would say finding purpose.
Mm,
Finding purpose. I think let me mention a few that I feel because there are a lot. Firstly, finding purpose. Two, aligning with purpose. Three, finding balance. Because now a lot of us, like I think most of our conversations are like cutting across a particular line. Like when I was talking earlier, I think I was talking about the situation where you find yourself in a field you are not expecting, and that's generally Nigerian university for you. Okay, a little of my experience. I remember that before I gained admission to study Greek, I already read two medical books, and one book is over 10,000 pages. Like, I literally read it from the beginning to the end. When I was in secondary school, while I was aspiring to be a medical student, I already knew the department I wanted to specialize in. Like, I would say I want to be a medical doctor, but I want to specialize in obstetrics and gynecology. So I was reading like back to back. Now I got so grounded in that field and that line that I could talk to a pregnant woman or a nursing mother and they will feel it's a doctor talking to them. Like, I had read to that point. I had the knowledge that some medical students cannot have, do not have, not because they are not being taught, but because I was dealing with foreign books and I was watching a lot of foreign documentaries on all sorts of medical issues, whether cosmetic surgery, whether labor and birth, whether the human anatomy, whether I was just doing everything medical. But there was a point I was telling myself I wanted to go in through, neurosurgery. I was so thrilled about. Imagine that. So now imagine that at the end of it all, having so much knowledge, having been grounded in a particular field because that's what I'm aspiring for. And then boom, it's like they just cut it short, go to our Greek. Although I was a very good student in our Greek back then in secondary school. I think there was a time I was even the agri class captain sef, because of the grade I had that particular year. So, but I never saw myself studying agri. I love animals, I love them as pets. But don't put me in that field. Don't tell me come and be feeding pig. I didn't see myself, in that line. Now getting to that line, I just lost everything because my purpose was nowhere to be found anymore. Some people were even like, you can do veterinary medicine. I said, I don't want to treat animals. Like, I don't want to cross from agri to vet. I don't want to do my master's in vet. Like, even if it will take me 10 years to study a particular course, I was telling myself that I will still pursue. Like, till now, I say, I'm like, I'm still going to pursue medicine. That was my mindset. That was like what I've always wanted to do. But see me in agric, it was like I had no bearing again. Everything had, gone down the drain. So it was now left for me to find balance. How do I, maximize? Yes, I'm good in agric. And agric that we are seeing is not even easy, but when people hear agric, they just feel
Yeah.
like you need to sit and play. But agric is like medicine's younger sister or younger
So
sibling.
no. Mhm.
It's so like it is extremely hard. Even while I was trying to find my balance, I found out that I was struggling at some point. And
Mm.
only courses I was doing well in were courses that were medically related. And before we got to that point, I was almost in like 200, for example, genetics. Whenever you talk to me about genetics, like I was so good in genetics that when I was in 200 level, I had to undo a session and I became a friend to the lecturer. The lecturer was from FUNAB. Till now, I think I said the man last week. But genetics is not just for animals, it is, human being inclined related. So anytime it
Yeah.
comes to medically related to agri, that's when you see me having A's. Like, I just see it as simple. It is so effortless. But when I start saying courses like agric economics, I will just be angry. Although I'm so good in mathematics, but economics was a no for me. It was a big struggle trying to find balance and all because I lost purpose. I felt I lost purpose. So I have to start finding purpose in agric. I have to start finding balance. And then another struggle is finances. And finances, not everybody comes from a home that is, so filled with all the luxury. Some of us have to struggle. And even those that feel like okay, they have backbone, I think that at some point in time they would also have a little fear. Now, one of my own biggest problem was I didn't really have so much financial support from my parents. My daddy wasn't even working at all, and my mom had the limits to the things that she could do. So I was struggling myself. Now, one of the worst years in school was my 500 level. I don't even want to go into the full details, but in my 500 level, I found out that I needed the most money, and I needed money for a useless thing because I was spending so much, but it was like I was spending in the wrong channel. Can
Mm.
you tell me to be buying imported turkeys for my, project? If I was in medical field now and they're like, okay, I want to run a project of 500, 1 million, everybody
Mm.
thinks it's worth it. In
Yeah.
fact, you get the money, even if it's to borrow, they'll be like, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Lola, they will get that money. But when I'm like, mommy, I want to buy cockerel. And the thing is,
Oh, yeah. I know production will
you
surprise you.
have to buy it. I literally told my supervisor one day that, sir, I don't have this money. Who don't want to call? And when God will even teach me very well, my 500 level was like peak two. We had strike for good 8 months. My businesses were on hold. My kitchen was down. Nobody was sewing. And the bad part was we had bought our turkeys. Maybe just like I think we paid already for the strike. So all the people that have not started, they went home to go and they went to work. But we were not stuck. 8 months were in school. We had to buy animals. Now I couldn't do nobody was sewing, students were not in school. It was just two of us, like people under my own supervisor and another supervisor that was also running their project. So now it was like I was spending, but there was no way to replenish where the money
Mm.
was coming from. So today we are buying feed. Tomorrow we are buying medication. Next tomorrow you just get to the farm. See that your turkeys have died. You have to start buying another one. So the money was now like, where am I going to get this money? There was a limit to the money I could get from my mom, and the little I could use to support myself was not coming because there was strike. And I was spending. Like when we did our budget, we spent over 1M in my group. And we still had to be taking bike. And we're the only one in school. The amount that bike we used to take us to the farm, by the time we are home, we have to beg them. So I was spending on feeding, I was spending on everything. And it was like it was still a waste. Because at the end of it, I was just like, so what was my of what I did? Although it had its fun part, but I can't just wake up one day and say, okay, it's something I want to buy and start
Hmm.
raising. Like I don't see myself for somebody that has a passion for agri, the person would have thought of a way to like maximize it. Like, okay, in
Yeah.
case I want to have my own farm, okay, let me. But I didn't see myself. So for me, it was so bad because it was hard to get the money, and the money was not really going in a good direction for me. But generally, I feel like that aspect of finances cannot be taken away, even while we talk about other struggles. So even while you're trying to find purpose, why that is a struggle, finding balance while it's a struggle, finances is a huge problem. It's a very, very huge problem. Sometimes school is not palatable when you feel like, okay, I always pay my school fees maybe every January. Okay, I always pay my house rent every, maybe March or every June. Strike will just come, scatter the calendar. Your January school fees will become maybe June school fees. And then you have to pay the school fees and pay your house. Everything is just choking, and you just find out that you need money. You get to school at times, you just need money. What are you using money for? You can't get to my room in school and see wig. You can't see Brazilian hair. You can't see bone straight. You can't see all these handbags, sneakers. But I was needing money. I was running businesses. I was still needing money, if not because of intentionality, saving culture, and a lot of things. It would have been so, so, so tough. So I just feel there are a lot of struggles. But when it comes to finances, it's a big one. When it comes to finding purpose, when it comes to finding balance, it's a big one.
Yeah.
And we could also talk about pressure because people
Yeah.
experience pressure in different forms. I think not like
Lot.
this is to say. Even as a student, then I had some responsibilities I was, taking up at home, and I had to depend on my earnings to sort those stuff at home. So we have some pressure from families at times. We have a lot of things that we can't even tell. So it's just like it's different strokes for different folks. But generally, you cannot underestimate the aspect of finding balance because by that they first throw you away from what you are expecting. Like I always tell myself that if I found myself in agric, I would do everything because I've always had the passion. So nothing would be tiring. But I was just like I was in the wrong seat. So it was like a huge struggle trying to find purpose, trying to find balance, trying to raise funds. But let's just thank God it's all over now. After a whole how many years,
Yeah.
inside of some extra COVID and strike, it still ended well. Even though my last year was the toughest, but let's still give God the glory on
Yeah.
that. Just it for me.
Glory to God. Glory to God. The part that you mentioned, finances, I feel that is true. So true. Me that I even had, support, like to some extent. There were times that I was even scared to ask for help because when you when I first heard that we were going to buy sheep, because my own during our own 500 we bought sheep. I was not even bothered because it was 17,000, everybody 17,000 naira. So I was like, okay, let me just reach out. But then because I was working on blood, so we took blood samples and we're supposed to take it to the lab. Unfortunately, our own school don't have lab, so we're supposed to go to FUNAB. So when we went to FUNAB, we took the blood there and everything. When we got there, the man told us 100K. Yeah, that was when I started having. I wanted to have high blood pressure. Come like me, I'll come on that did that. I
300K.
want to use 100K to test blood for animal blood, not even man be animal blood. Hmm. When I went home that day, I could not call anybody. I could not say anything. I was just shocked. Like, 100K. Although we're two, that was 50-50. Even if it's 50-50, even if it's 50-50, at that day, 50,000 was still money. So I knew that finances is something that will be constant from every undergraduate, right? When they are calling ridiculous price for that, buy this handout, buy that handout, pay for this, so many expenses. Except if you are someone that you like you like living lavishly, there's no way the thought of this money. even if your parents are giving, there are still some people that their parents are supplying for them, that when you call some money for them, they'll be like, no, I'm not even if they know that their parents can pay that money, but they'll be like, they can't pay that kind of money because they don't have the mindset of spending lavishly. Like for me now, then there are some things that I will not call my parents for because I'm like, no, even if we have the tree in our house, no, I'm not going to buy it. There's some things I will not call them for because I'm not going to buy it. It's ridiculous, but makes sense.
Mm.
So that's how it is. I feel that it's actually everybody, every undergraduate that have experienced this thing, but then don't allow it get to you. Don't allow it begin to determine the steps that you take.
Mhm.
I believe that we are learning from Tominsin because, like I said, there are some excuses that are understandable. At this point, you could have done anything and given us the excuse that you were in your final year, you needed money, you were no, you needed this and that. We would have understood that this girl she needed new
Yeah.
lights. But then you not use that as an opportunity to misbehave, to do other things, other bad things, like indulging in, so many bad acts because you were desperate for this. So what is this saying to you as an undergraduate? Although you might need this, that, name them, although you might feel pressured, don't still use, that opportunity to indulge in an evil act. There were times that they would chase me out of class because I did not pay NAS due, 500 naira. Please, oh, is it that I cannot afford 500 naira? Think about, is it that I cannot afford 500 naira? But just that I intentionally don't want to pay that money because it did not make sense. Because what are they using the money for? That was what I felt. When I said that the money was, I want to climb on top my grade, I had to pay the money. But assuming the money was just there, like the lecturer did not impose it on us, I will not pay the money. I will not pay it. So that's how it is. So don't say because and at then I had every reason to do whatever thing I want to do. There are times that not because they said no to me, but I just don't feel like asking. I don't always feel like asking sometimes. So I could have said even some people they have, not that they don't, but they still misbehave. Like
Mhm.
their parents are okay. You hear some people that you hear them that they are doing Yahoo, not because they are suffering, not because they don't have money. They have the money. Their parents are rich, but they're still doing Yahoo. Please, why? At least even if you are suffering and you do Yahoo, we will still understand that okay, maybe you want to pay your school, fees, but you have enough. So you can see that this thing that we're calling about, doing something bad, doing something awful, making wrong decisions. Sometimes it's not because of situations. It's just we want to explore. We want to. Some people because they want to be independent, and that's not the right way of being independent.
Not at all.
So that is it. So make sure that whatever state that you have, whether you have in abundance or you don't have in abundance, make sure that you don't do anything that you will regret later on. Because any evil act you indulge in, there is regret waiting before you. If you don't change now, there is regret waiting before you that you now start thinking about what if I had done it this way. And funniest part is that when you are in regret, you will now start seeing solution to the things that you should have done. Like you start seeing answers to the things that you should have done. When you are regretting everything you've done, you now start saying, I should have done it this way. I should have done it that way. So now that you're in that situation, whatever thing that you have, whatever situation you have, think about the positive things you can do. There's always a positive way out of it. And the other part that you mentioned about discovering purpose, aligning to purpose, sometimes academics might want to prevent us from really aligning to purpose, right? But then your purpose is also important. You have to still look for ways to make sure that you're build on your purpose. Because like I said before in one of the speakers when we had one of the sections, that some of us we might not really, you know, work with our certificate and everything. There are many people now that is because of they are working in line with their purpose, not anything that has to do with school, right? So you don't know where you will need that purpose. So make sure that you try. But like what we said, don't forget your primary assignments. Don't forget it. Don't forget your primary purpose, but then still try. Try as much as possible. Imagine if you had not started in school, like your business and everything. If you start now, there's nothing bad there. Oh. There's nothing bad. But then as you started, you gain experience, you gain customers. There are people that if they want to do an occasion, they might just remember that Tommy has done this before. Let's call her. You understand stuff like that. So you register in people's mind that you do this kind of a thing. So try as much as possible to, fulfill your purpose, to start working on it. You might not do everything at once, but make sure that you are building on it. And God is going to help you. God is going to help you. The last thing we talk about is peer pressure. This is a whole topic, like a topic on its own. And this also goes back to when we said that the reason why you are going into school, the reason why you are going into that university. Whatever thing you have heard, discard it. Whatever home you are coming from, discard it and go into campus with a positive mindset. There are people that I've seen them, and I know that this is peer pressure. And at the same time, I've seen some people, and I know that it's not peer pressure that do you. It is what you have in your mind that you are
Okay.
just displaying. There are people that they just need somebody to just put lights or put fuel on their head before they now spark. So when those people now come and ginger them and tell them one thing or the other, so those things in their mind do not start making sense what the person is saying. They will now begin to do it. So it's not peer pressure. Oh. It is just what you have in your mind that somebody help you to bring it to life. So what do you have in your mind that you want to do? There are people that are on campus say wearing trust. Am I saying trust is bad? No. But I'm saying that not that the person force you and wear the trousers. What I'm saying is peer pressure that allow you to wear trousers. It's not peer pressure. It is you yourself. You've been eyeing trousers for a long time. You now saw a venue for you to now start displaying. You now started.
And now
So there's
freedom now.
some exactly it's not freedom. So that one is not peer pressure. But peer pressure comes when you want to make a decision and you never thought about those things. You never had it in mind, you just find yourself doing it because of the people around you or because of what you have seen or because of what your friends have seen. That is peer pressure. That is peer pressure. But then why exactly are you in school? When you remember why you are in school, even when you were explored, most of us explored, right? We went to places that we cannot tell our parents, but still we did not forget the main assignment. Do not forget the main assignment. So make sure that you stand your ground. There are people you should not be working with if they are against your value. If they're not in line with your value, you're not supposed to be working with them. What are your values? What are the things that you stand for? What are the things you cannot take? So look for people like that and stay in their midst. Don't say your friend is an alert and you now think that you'll be sane to graduate. It's not possible. Your own friend, I'm not saying roommate or all mates, your friend, the person that calling bestie is an alert, and you think that you'll be normal throughout your campus. It's not possible. One way or the other, you might start from opening small. Yeah. Before you know, you graduate to pump shot. And you'll be graduating like that. You will not even realize that you are graduating.
Obviously,
That
you
is how it
you
is.
you just you ascend like okay from the smallest to the
Exactly.
big,
You're not
and you
starting
don't
that
see
nothing is there now.
so far gone and you are lost in it.
That is it. That is how it is. And one thing that we should deceive ourselves is that as far as no guy touch me there, they will just see it, they will not touch it. When they will touch it, you would have been far gone before you know that they're already touching it. So that's how it is. So now that you know what is right, stay with people that align with what you know. Surround yourself with people that align with what you know. That is the easiest way for you to go away from peer pressure. When you're working with wrong set of people, you are definitely going to be like them. So that's how it is. So I feel that we've done just that question. Time is fast spent. Let's just go to the next question. Is that okay? Tell us how it was for you as an undergraduate, your challenges, blessings, and triumphs. How was it for you as an undergraduate? And also, you can just mix with the fourth question. Let me read that again. So, it says, what are the things you discovered about yourself, even as an undergraduate? So you can just mix the two together and give us answer. Because I feel that for every speaker that I've spoken concerning this particular question, their answer almost linked into the next question. So that's why I'm mixing it together, and I think I can just give us a brief stuff about how it was for you as an undergraduate, the challenges you're facing, the triumphs. Did you discover about yourself, as an undergraduate?
Okay. All right. Thanks for the question. Okay. My personal life, trying to talk
Yeah.
about this is a lot. But let me just see how I can like compress it because my life as an undergraduate, it was a mixture of, good,
We can't really
bad,
hear you. It's low
struggles,
already.
and victories and all. Even while I felt like I was in the wrong field, while I struggled to find purpose, I found out that there were other reasons why God wanted me to be in that particular place. Do you understand? Now, firstly, okay, let me pick it from this angle. While I was studying agri, even though I did not want to, I found myself, struggling, doing this, doing that, and I started finding that okay, even if I don't end up being, let me say, a medical doctor, there are other things that I never thought I would do, and I was excelling in them. And along the line, ministry also came to take its course. I I found my purpose while in school. Now, while I was teaching, I think I mentioned that I was a teacher at some point in school. Now, the funny thing about this teaching profession is I wasn't getting salary. I joined comprehensive high school when I started my project, and OU was on strike. So I just slept and I woke up and God told me to go to control. And as at that time, I was a guardian to a particular teenage girl. She's presently 21 now. I think I took her in when she was 18. So for the fact that school was on strike and I'm already running my business, I this is somebody that I have to cater for. It was very, very tough. And I think if I needed anything at that point, I think I needed money. Or let me just say I needed a job. I think when I get a job, I can make money, care for myself, care for the girl, then do every other thing. And now God just told me to go to comprehensive high school. And then I went. And I greeted the people I met there. I said, okay, this is me. They said, am I think there's this college of education in that vicinity. So they thought I was from, maybe I wanted to be a part-time teacher. I said no, that I want to be a voluntary teacher. And that was how I joined comprehensive high school IPO. Like this is a part of me that nobody knows. Now everybody was saying it, thinking that oh, this girl has plenty money, yeah. She don't dey collect salary, government school for that matter. But I
Mm.
worked for them for like a year and I never got salary for one. Even when they're like, "Ah, let's give this girl
Salary for what?
like being a teacher normally there's an expected salary and all. But going on a voluntary course, I was not getting paid. Yes. So at
Oh.
some teachers were deliberating that can't they contribute because I was doing their job like I got the job. So I'll write lesson notes, I'll take practicals, I'll come early, I'll attend assemblies. I had a class, I was handling SS1 and SS2 for data processing. Then I used to interfere in agri practicals because of my discipline, then chemistry too. So I was doing all these things and we were having issues with coppers that were even posted and they were getting allowance and all. And those ones were, they don't want to teach. And they were always like, who is this person that just came on that voluntary volition like that? Like you want to teach and you don't want salary. Even when they like take salary, I'll say, no, I'm not here for the salary. And I needed money. So at that point, as at that point in time, I I had my very first official talk in the school on a particular celebration, World Girl Child Day. And that was how God just poured some girls in my custody. And I had to adopt some twin teenagers. So even while I was battling with finding purpose, I was finding purpose in the place of ministry. That I was telling myself that okay, all the aspects I had wanted to choose medicine, something kept happening. And even while I was feeling bad that why am I in this field, I was getting fulfillment and I was finding purpose in something that I never saw coming. Sometimes I would tell myself that if I was a medical doctor already, I'm not really sure I would have the time for ministry and humanity like I do now. So for that aspect, I found purpose in that line, and it's really helped my ministry to grow. Eventually, I had to like house 4 girls. They lived with me till I was done with school. But two still stay with me presently, and one of them have gained admission. So it's just like that. Now, other things that came to be for me, I found out that I had a strength I never knew I had. Uh, it's not easy. When I was in 300 level stroke 400 level, it was even worse. I started my kitchen in 400 level. And 400 level is a tough year on its own. It's a farm year. You have to wake up, go to farm. You have to farm till, evening. And this is me. I did not open kitchen in 100 level or 200 level or 300 level. This is opening kitchen 400 level. Second semester, I think. I can't really remember, but I think it was second semester also. So it was tough, but then I was doing it. And then sometimes when people invite me, some people will be like, come and give us a business talk. So when they come, I'll be like, what do I want to say? Because sometimes I feel like I don't know how I'm doing it. Because the normal human person, you just be like, how do you go to class, go to work? How do you sew? How do you read? How do you cook? How do you fix this? How do you do this? How so people will just look at me at times and be like, are you a human being or you're a spirit? And sometimes I'll just look because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing too. I just know it's just God that is giving me this, spirit. So I found out that I had a strength that I never knew I had. If I got to a point, so people were stalking my school portal, they were like, ah, that girl, she will have 10,000 carryover. Because there was a time when I got 500 level, it was worse. Before I eventually left the hotel job, not because I wanted to, some things came up. So I had to, most times I'll come to class in my hotel ID card. Most times I always want to remove it, but sometimes maybe when I hear that, okay, there's a lecturer in class, I have to rush down, and some people will see that and they'll be like, and because I always have to project pictures like, okay, this is ready, this is this is that. So they'll just be like, wait, is this girl working somewhere? Some people will be like, this girl does not know, she's crazy. How can you be in school and be doing all of these things? And when God will now catch me very, very well, I lost my dad in second semester, 500 level, and that was January this year before the whole thing. So it still now became worse. I was battling finances right from time, and then this is an aspect of emotions. I had a mental breakdown, a serious one, and I still had teenagers I had to cater for. I had platforms that I had to keep running. I remember as at then, I think Cocktail Lab, we had about 300 teenagers. Presently, we had about 500 plus. I always have to, run programs without letting my pain come into that look out there. There's something I'm trying to go with this breakdown. Now, it was so bad. It wasn't convenient. It wasn't easy. And people will always be like, ah, that girl, she's going to have an extra year. Even if I tell people that I read in the midnight, they will tell me that is a lie, because most times 2 a.m. I can be fixing order, I can be sewing like with torchlight, with candle, because there's no good light. I don't even have a gem. People just be like, ah, this girl, she will have plenty carryover, she will have extra year, she will have this. But in all of this, I never had such. But I went through a whole lot of hell that even when I see people, it's not like I mock people. There were lots of my colleagues that did not do one of the numerous things I did, and they had serious issues with maybe having a spillover. Some that did not have, why they were stalking me. I mean, some didn't even have the kind of grades I had. So for me, it's grace. So I discovered a lot, and it made me understand that life itself is a battleground. On a normal day, we say life is not a bed of roses. So being in school, my kind of person, the things I went through, I had challenges right from home. Then merging home challenges with school challenge, having to fend for myself, made that it's not so easy to collect money. I think the last stable allowance I got from my parents was in 200 level. Like there was a time my allowance went to a halt, and I did not have a boyfriend that was giving me money. Not like in fact, I was not running all these my businesses. I was not running it then. This my tailoring business that is now a big thing. Now I send clothes abroad. I do for brides and all. Then I was still, doing. little creativity. Not like I had customers, but it wasn't palatable. But God helped me to stand. I didn't sway away. I didn't mess up. Not because I didn't have the opportunity to. School is a kind of place that if you want to do something and they will not know how to, you will do it. Some of us can be that smart. Although anything you do to yourself, you are at the receiving end. But if I wanted to sway away and be like, oh, because of this, let me do this. My mom is not here. I could have, done it. Maybe later I would change. Maybe later I would, have that sense. But I didn't even sway away. It was not like I didn't see girls following Yahoo boys. It was not like I didn't know the meaning of hook up. At least I tell people, I said I've never been to. There's this common club in Ayetoro, K360 club. From my 100 level to 500 level, I did not know where that place is. Like when I eventually knew, I never entered. There was pressure, but I never went through that line. There's some days I will cry. I remember that I had to go to my sister's current house one day, and I was crying. And I'm like, my daddy, my mommy, my this, my dad. I was crying fire life. It was just like I got tired of life. And even while I was struggling, I still went through a life and death situation. At some point, I was battling with my health. At some point, there was a murder attempt on my life. I think I was in 400 level. Something happened between I and one of my apprentices, and it graduated to a case that she attempted to stab me. And it boiled out from so many things. Some people said envy, some people said it's jealousy because how would you want to stab your boss? I don't want to go into that detail. But me, that you want to kill, you don't even know how my life is. Because you are seeing me today, I'm posting clothes. Tomorrow, I'm posting food. Next tomorrow, I'm posting myself with my students in class. They are like, people were even calculating my money for me. They're like, as a government worker, at least level 6, level 7, you will not collect at all. You collect like 60K, 70K. And I was not getting a dime. But nobody saw that. Nobody saw the aspect that business has a face of profit and a face of loss. So even while people were, doing their things, sometimes I'll just be like, should I give you my life? Like, just take my life for one week and see if you will not return it to me. So I had that very, very crazy challenge, and it was so hard. If I got to a point, I started having issues with fellow vendors. Why me? I was seeing myself as an hustler, trying to, get a life for myself. And I was also battling envy. There's another food vendor that was like, me, I stole all our customers. And it became a thing of enemies. And you know how girls can be. This one will talk to this. So when I just come to class, I just see groups talking, and they're like, that girl, that girl. But I'm not this person, I don't have friends. But I just know that there is no matter what anybody wants to do, there are still some people that would have your back. And they'll be like, okay, you can actually say what all you want, but this person is, this. So I had that kind of challenge too, and along the line I learned lessons, and I was able to maximize my problems. You know that there's a point when you discover that crying does not solve the situation. Just keep it there. Yes, we have overwhelming situations and it can weigh us down. But if I want to talk to you, I'll just say, okay, well, you can cry, go to cry. After you cry, clean your face, buckle up again, step out. Because I had the days that it was so down for me. And along the line, he started, connecting those line. Also today, also tomorrow. People will see me now and say, that girl, she's so loaded. She's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing this. It was life that dealt with me, that made me this. I never went to a culinary school, but the kind of food I make, people don't believe that I did not do maybe catering or so. I just discovered that like I have to do this thing. Although naturally I see myself as a creative person. So even if I want to give you rice, the way I will give you the rice, you will be surprised. You'll be like, is this still rice? So those little ideas helped me. It really boosted my kitchen. It taught me a lot about life. Having profit, having loss gave me another mindset of life. And eventually, all those things that were like struggles back then, they are now like major streams of income for me now. So even when everybody is out of that school canopy, like, okay, let's look for a job. I did not look for a job. I already have like a life. Like present, I'm even having apprentices. Today somebody will come, tomorrow somebody will come. So it's now like all the pain. Then sometimes I will cry that why is my life like this? I'm a last born. I want to enjoy myself. I want to, do this, I want to do that and all. But while I was crying, I never knew God was even preparing me for a future because imagine I never did all that. Imagine my father never retired. Imagine my mom had all the money in the world. I felt my life would have been a kind of life that would make me feel like I'm so comfortable. I'm not really sure I would find myself. I would feel like life is sweet because I'll call them and I'll get what I want. But because I didn't get, I was able to see another aspect of life and to discover another side of me. If I did not go through all of the challenges I went through, I'm not really sure I'll be standing today. Because the God that will catch me. Okay, imagine losing my father early this year. And my dad used to be the business administrator of an oil company. So when I'm talking about money, the day I had money. So that kind of affluence, imagine I've been enjoying it. I want this, I get it. I want that, I get it. Now leaving school and losing that man, how would I start? It's not as if anybody knows his account or anything, or I can easily say, let me go and take one month that my father has worked for or anything. So how will I just pick my life suddenly? So while I was going through challenges, crying, thinking that life was bad for me, I never knew that God was molding me. So today I'm in my, office. Presently now I'm still in the office. I have to like work overnight. Work is so choking. So today I'm here, tomorrow I'm getting orders. Sometimes I'll be like, "See, I have a lot already." So I now all those things that were like struggles there, they're now like streams of income and it now gave me a good life now. So for me, it's a lot, but at the end, it is worth it. Let's just put it like that. There are a lot to say, but we don't really have all of the time, and I feel that that's like enough to share.
Yeah, that's a lot. And the testimony out of all this is that you came out strong. Came out strong and came out successful, came out well. Being successful does not have to do with you having big things or elaborate things or shiny things like that. The fact that you were able to look beyond your challenges, you look beyond your pain, look beyond your struggles, look beyond everything that you were going through shows how strong you are and how tangible what you have now. So, and like I said before, experiences, we go through different people. You look at some people, they will have an experience that's similar to yours, right? If you're that kind of person, you need to look beyond. This still bounces back to vision. You need to have a sight for where you are going to. And you mentioned something that what if those things did not happen? Would you have been able to achieve what you have now? If you are in a situation where it is looking challenging, you should see it as an opportunity for you to discover things that are beyond normal. You should see it as an opportunity for you to build yourself. This is how it is because it's thankful that you saw those challenges as something that you know you could take and mark a positive positive outcome for your life even with those challenges. And challenges will not always happen to one person. It will not always happen to some people. Even the rich have challenges.
Obviously.
Even those that are wealthy, they have challenges. Not to talk of we that we are still,
The
and the
rich
fact
also
that we
cry, those who do.
exactly the rich also cry. They cry a lot. They will just come on social media and come and pretend. They cry a lot. They cry a lot. Because when you hear that your container, ó ti wọnú omi, um, you don't know when the tears don't start flowing down like they cry a lot. So you should see yourself now where you are. You cannot be there for life. But will you look back at those situations and say, thank God I did not stay there. Thank God I picked myself up. Thank God I moved forward. Thank God I looked beyond my challenges. Will you be able to say that? Because in case you don't know, you will not always be in that challenge. You know, you will still move forward. Now, wherever you find yourself will not determine how you were able to, maximize the time you had there, how you were able to, come out strong, how you were able to beat yourself, how you were able to work on, yourself despite the challenges that you were facing. Because there are some people that is going to be regret, and there are some people that are going to be thankful. But you know how regret can be painful. So while you are at it, whatever thing you are going through, whatever challenge, whatever thing, look beyond it. Look beyond it. And she even mentioned the worst thing that can happen to anyone. The worst thing that can happen to anyone is losing someone that is dear to you. That's the worst thing that can happen to anyone. That's it. So she even mentioned that. So you see that for her to have gotten to this stage that she put in the work. She was not just bluffing and wishing and prophesying and professing. She put in the work. Think about something today about someone, and I would say, and it dropped in my mind too, that the person needs to leave the comfort zone, and
Yeah.
that is where so many of us are. We love comfort. There's nobody that don't love comfort. I love comfort. Take the time. I'm not supposed to be sleeping. Tell me about it. There's nobody that don't love comfort. But then this is the time for us to put in the work. This is the time for us to build. At time you get to a stage that you cannot be able to do what you are doing or what you have done now. You won't be able to do it again. For me now, the way a small child will run, I cannot run like that. I cannot run like that. The way a small child will run, climbing the stairs, I cannot dare it. I will break in between. Why? Because I don't have the strength to do that anymore. I'm not old though, but yeah, there's some things that small children can do that you cannot dare and do it. If not, they will use paracetamol for you to be okay. And then they still have you know, that that strength, that eagerness to do those things. So now that you are still young, you are at it, you are an undergraduate, you are an high school graduate, look beyond your challenges. Your parent does not have money to send you to school. You can send yourself to school. I listened to someone on radio when we were talking about, how the fact that he got blind all of a sudden. The man was saying he got blind all of a sudden, and they were asking him how his children went to school, and the wife was saying that every one of them sent themselves to school. Look at that. Now it is understandable that their parents don't have money, and their father is even blind again. It's understandable. Now, I won't hear that kind of a thing and pity them. But they went beyond their challenges. They went out of their comfort zone. They went out of their problem, their pain, their sorrow, their hurt to seek for solution, to make sure to secure a future for them, to secure a future for themselves. So you also make sure that you take steps to secure a future for yourself, for your children, for your generation. Make sure that you take steps. Thank you so much, Domin. Thank you so much. And the next question, I feel that you've answered that, or in case you still want to say anything concerning it, would you say that your undergraduate days is what you do now? I know you mentioned that already, but do you want to talk about anything?
I think I've actually said all that
Yeah,
I would have wanted to say. So let's just, keep it.
that's how it is. Your graduates can actually influence what you do as a graduate. It's not every one of us that will graduate and launch into, you know, a job, or you see the job, you securing confidence on the
But most people
company.
at this
Not
point,
everyone, no. I'm telling you, not everyone, no. So what you do as I was telling someone, I think I was saying in one of the sections that when I graduated, I did not, serve immediately. But what kept me sane was the skills that I acquired as an undergraduate. Because I was still posting content, writing, doing design, and everything. That was still giving me the sense of I'm doing something. Right? But imagine I did not learn anything in school. Imagine I did not even do anything. I was just focused on school and school. Do you think that I will be okay for that 5 months or close to 5 months that I spent at home? I would I've thought about so many things I want to do. Even I would have thought to the extent of doing things that and that does not make sense because I'm desperate to do something. But because I already acquired something as an undergraduate, I was able to do those things. So as an undergraduate now, make sure that you get something going. As you focus on your studies, make sure that you get other side things to do. Make sure that you get to do them. Thank you so much. And the last question is okay, let me see. How were you able to maximize your time? I think that you I don't know. How were you able to maximize your time as an undergraduate? How were you able to maximize your time? You know, you did a lot of things. You mentioned that you did a lot of things. So how were you able to balance them from A business to B business to school to the teenager? How were you able to do that?
Hmm. Okay, I think I've answered it stylishly, but let me just give a breakdown of how I manage my time, how I was able to maximize my time as an undergraduate. Well, firstly, I understood that um, I had a goal. Let's start with that. I had a goal. There were some things I did that I felt okay if I had a sponsor, like if I had that big financial backing, maybe I wouldn't have ventured into it. But I'm glad how God has planned my life and where I've been through, where I am, and where I'm still going. Then I understood that good things don't come from comfort zone. If you look at many great people out there, they don't sleep. They are not deep sleepers. There's a lot of things that sleep does to you, physically, spiritually. If you look at these our random musicians out there, even while we feel like okay, they are not doctors or something, that people feel okay, it's only when you're a doctor that you have draining time, you have to maybe you have to be in the hospital all day and the little time you want to sleep, they'll just call a doctor, there's an emergency. People feel okay, it's only some certain professions that hijacked or it dips into personal time. But musicians, you'll be surprised to find them in studio recording at midnight, and also generally I understood that good things did not come from comfort zone. And the kind of situation I had, I was used to making one statement that person wey no get help and suppose get sense. I had that particular statement like for a very, very long time of my life. So even while I thought I had elder siblings, I and my siblings we roll so fine, but they also have their personal lives and targets. Because I think at a point I was feeling bad that guy I have siblings. Like for example, I could need something and just be like, I have a like two big sisters and I have my big brother. Can't you people you just say you drop 10K. You just say you drop 5K. My then going to come out of it. I started dealing with another line of adage. I think there's this adage that says Ajimobi Okontanu. So my life was now cycling around life reality that okay, I can't depend on my siblings. Even this I've forgotten one rhyme. I don't know, maybe I don't know what we used to call it. This thing. Ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́, bàbá rẹ̀ lè lẹ́ṣin lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, that kind of a thing. You trust on them, it's nothing but void. So if you are being advised not to trust your parents, then what would you do to siblings? Because I believe our parents are of more bigger, they're a bigger part of us than our siblings that we can't just help but do it. So if you can't help but accept that reality, I feel you begin to see life on a different level. So I saw life on a different level and I started telling myself that oh, I needed to do something with my life. So I started getting intentional. Like, okay, I have a life, I have a ministry, I have this, I have that. So I have to train myself. I had to train myself because the kind of upbringing I even had, I never had the kind of dependent policy of a thing. We don't know how to ask for things. We just when my dad was asking, we get it even before you ask. And I think we got so satisfied that you can there's nothing you want to use to entice us. So when we now got into the situation whereby let me say it's no more palatable or it's not raining like it used to be. It was so hard to start asking. And the funny thing, people like us, when we even ask, we don't get it. Because some people don't even believe you. They are like, I like Jerry, she dey lie, and mama get, and papa get, and all of this. So the aspect of trying to ask gave me another level of sense because when you ask, it's either I don't get or I get embarrassed. And I'll just be like, why did I ask? And the problem is, before I will ask you, say, I would have thought of it over and over again. And then I eventually just be like, okay, let me ask. And eventually, after I ask, and you're like, you are turning me down, it feels so bad for me. So I had those mentalities. I needed to wake up. So while I was okay, I think when I started working as a teacher, I started during the strike days. Although I had a farm to attend to, but I have to always go and feed my turkey, sometimes morning, sometimes evening, sometimes it could have a general clinic. So either I do that very early in the morning. If I have to go to farm by 8, I'll go by 6. I'll do my portion and then go to work. And by afternoon or evening, I'll retire back to farm very necessary. So I started replanning my I started cutting it. If I used to sleep for let me say 8 hours, gradually it reduced like 6 and then to 4 and then to 2. Although sometimes while we lose our sleep, it can have an impact on health. But I had other stuff that I was doing to like make up for that stress because I was intentional about my well-being. So although it gets to me at times. Then juggling, there was a time I had a very choking timetable. Let me give you an overview of what my daily life was like then. Okay, I wake up like about 3 a.m. There was a time I was waking up by 2 a.m. that I used to set an alarm till my body got accustomed to that time. So it was so funny that even if there's no light, even if my phone is not ringing, my body will wake up exactly by 2 because it was already accustomed that it will always get up. So whether I have something to do or not, it will wake up by 2. And whenever I wake up by 2, what I do is if I have a food order, I start fixing it from about 3 a.m. So sometimes I do breakfast order. I'll have a class for 8 a.m. and food is ready like to 7. And we'll deliver to the neighborhood and sometimes we'll deliver to school. People that we are both coming to class, some wake up like after 7 to 8, just bait and come to school. I'll be the one to prepare what they will eat and then I get my money. So 500 level timetable is way different. You can have just let me say a class, maybe 8 to 10 or maybe at most 12. So immediately I do that, I have to rush back to go and start fixing lunch. So when I fix lunch, while lunch is going on, I'm thinking about dinner. Although God helped me at some point, I think I mentioned that I was a guardian to 4 girls. They were living with me, like I adopted them. They were in my care. So at some point, I was having that assistant. But when I started the kitchen, I had no assistant. I had nobody staying with me. So at that point, while I'm fixing lunch, I'll be like, oh yeah, you go and pick this, you go and pick that, you go and do this, you go and do that. We're already planning on dinner. So most times when we fix our dinner order, we finish like let's say past 10, sometimes 11 p.m. So like somebody will just call you that, please, I'm sick. I can't step out. What do you have? So I'll be like, I don't have anything. So I please, can you make me noodles? I'll pay out this. I'll still have to, not because of the money at times. I'll just like, this person, okay. I'll just call somebody, okay, help me deliver. I'll just call my bike man. Then and while my girls will go to sleep, it's either I'm fixing my assignment or I'm reading for a test. And when I'm done with that, I'll go back to sewing if I have clothes to sew. I'll sew. And the funny thing is when I now sew, I cannot sleep again because I'll finish sewing maybe around 2, 3. And then I have to start preparing for the next morning and then prepare for class. So it was not as if it was easy. But because I had a goal, I knew where I was going. I knew what was in front of me. So it was more like I did not have a choice at some point. Because even while I was trying to get a life for myself, there were some points that I needed my rest, but I did not have a choice. So there are some points that you can say, okay, it was easy, but there's some point that it was very tough, like that for me, that I did not really have a choice. But I found out that most of my time came from the place of cutting my sleep. I literally gave up my sleep time. And the funny thing is, you won't even catch me sleeping class, like sleeping in class on a normal day. Like you're not get and see me sleeping. Before I can sleep in class, maybe I'm healed or I'm just intentionally saying, let me just sleep this sleep. But a class cannot be going on, lecture cannot be going on, and you find me sleeping. And you wouldn't even know that I have been awake, all through the time. And sometimes, before I fix afternoon order, if I have an 8 to 10 class, where the school I was working, they understood that I was still a student. So sometimes, once I have that 8 to 10 class, I think the time I was handling fourth period, and fourth period is about after 10. So I have to like rush to the school, fix the fourth period. If I have a class by 12, I'll rush back to class, have my class for lesson 12 to 2, go back home, fix, kitchen order. So it was choking that I think the only assistance I had came from the place of kitchen. But nobody wants to help me to read. Nobody wants to help me to, teach. And also for me, I got really choked, but God really, really helped me. And I just made sure that my eyes was on the trophy. Like the trophy was I have to graduate with good grades. So even while I was still doing everything, I was still telling myself that, your primary purpose in this school is to, study. So people would even be advising me. Have I already advised myself? So people will be like, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ń ṣe. Hey, mama, and they will still come and meet you. I want to borrow money, but they will talk. They'll say a lot of things. So before they tell me, I've already told myself that, I know that there was a point I had to start fellowship. Not like I wouldn't go to church, I would go, but there was sometimes I had to be intentional. Like, okay, I'll go for this, I'll go for that, because in the literal sense, you can actually serve God. Not necessarily, because there is a lot of things under that fellowship context, especially when you're an exco or something. If you are not careful, you will lose your academics if you don't know how to balance it. And you can't go back and say, God, did you allow me to fail? So I have to be intentional about my spiritual life too. Because I know I can definitely pray from my convenience. A lot of people can just be in church pretending. Some people don't even have their personal interrelationship with God. So I have to start telling myself that, okay, this I'm not
True.
in for this.
Very true.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm not in for this. Okay. Like there was a point I was running from fellowship interview. Don't make me an expert. I think for like two different sessions, they did not see me in their interview. Because when I was in 100 level 200, that my president can hold me. When you're much younger, you pay your president. They'll be like, I want to see you there. And I'm like, I can't disrespect myself. When I started getting to 300 level, I was just, yes, ma. You will not see me. Yes, ma. So I was so intentional about, you know, the primary goal. Yes, I will serve God. Yes, I want to serve God. Yes, I am a lover of God. But I did not allow irrelevancies to affect, you know, the primary situation and the primary goal. But I think the main line here is for the maximization of time, it came from costing, like I really cut down on my sleep. I really cut down. Like I really, really cut down. So that's just it for me. I really can't say it for another person, but for my own experience, I stopped my sleep. And I'm glad it was worth it. Yes, financially, in build up and everything. It was worth it. So that's just it for me.
Cut down time, cut down excess time. I thought about something one time that the time that we spend with our friends talking about things that don't have any meaning, can use that time to do other things.
Obviously, yes.
And another thing is, if you know you are doing so many things, and or maybe you are planning to do so many things, as you're planning to do those things, plan out the time you want to have for them. Like based on the way you were talking, you had time for eating others, doing your orders, delivering, sewing, your school, studying. You had time for everything. Like you've given everything the time. You might not give them a fixed time, but you can give them an order. Like you can say, first thing I'll do today is this, and the next thing is this. Put them according to how important they are. You can
Exactly.
even put the extent of saying visit Shade after I've delivered visit Shade. Make sure that you list out everything that you do. And the best way is plan your day before you enter that day. If not, you just find yourself doing something, but at the end of that day, you realize that you've not done the important thing you're supposed to do for that day. Because many people think that if you don't plan your day, you you end up not doing anything. We do something, oh, and you will do something, but you will not look back and see that the main thing, did not end up doing it. So plan your day and list them according to how important they are. If this Shade is important, this Shade, go to market, go to class, do my assignment. It's everything like that. That will actually help you. But if you have everything boxed in your head and there are so many things you want to do, you are in fellowship, you are this, that, almost like eight things or so many activities, you will forget it. And one thing that will suffer for it is your academics, which is your primary assignment.
Of course.
So that's how it is. If you head for Tominsin now, make sure that you cut excess time that you know that you don't have any reason for you to be in that meeting. You don't have any meeting for you to be in that conference. You don't have any meeting for you to be in that class. Make sure that you cut excess time. That's the way you can maximize your time. Make use of every time to do something tangible. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. I've said it. List out the things that you want to do for a day. List out the important things, put them according to how important they have. Have time for them. Cut down excess time. Cut down excess time. This is really, really going to help you. Thank you so much. You've spoken a lot, a lot. And when we started this section, I thought that I forward to this section because I'm not going to hear things I've never heard before. Due to the fact that I've never heard anything about you, and it's amazing. So, lastly, do you have any advice for high school graduates, undergraduates, or graduates? Just any advice you have for them? You can say it differently or say it all together.
Okay. Thank you so much. If I want, if I want to actually start breaking it down, I believe I would have lots of advices to give, whether to undergraduates, whether to high school graduates, whether to already made graduates. There's actually a whole lot to say. But let's pick it first. Let me do it in, let me say, in the order of progression. High school graduate. Life is so easy when when you finish your work, you're like, I've arrived and all. But I would like to tell you that you just started. Why you feel it's over? It's just like you're just starting. That's the reality. So you need to um pedal soft. You need to calm down because what you're about to go into is tougher and it's unfathomable. You cannot foresee what would happen to you. So just calm down, live the happiness. Yes, it's okay to be glad, like, I'm done with this crazy school, all these physics, all this. One of the realities that universities will teach you is that the things you got tired of in school, my physics, my chemical. When you get to school, 100 level, you will see these things first and you first see the first level of frustration. Maybe you hated chemistry. You just find yourself doing chemistry. Maybe you never even understood the basics of chemistry. Now, and you're thinking that, yeah, you were over all of those stuff, and then you felt you're coming into a world of freedom. And what you thought you have left is like a foundation for what you will need. All your 100 levels and all, you would meet so much, like so many things that you never thought you will meet. And even while you begin to get into your discipline proper from your 200 level, like, okay, I've left the basics, you find out that you still find these things in line, on an advanced level. And if you're not even careful, frustration will set in. So while you're happy that you're out of school, you need to understand that there's a bigger place you're going. And it's just like the normal growth. A child, an adult started from a baby. A baby would crawl. Before you know, baby will start, standing. Before you know, baby will start walking. Then baby will start crawling. And in age and size, we begin to grow from, a baby to a toddler to, an adolescent, a teenager, youth, and all. Everything is just about steps. So while you are happy that you are over it, you should understand that as you are growing, you are meeting more of life reality. And I'm really trusting God to help you even as you are embarking on the undergraduate journey. Now, for so many people that are already an undergraduate, there is a lot to say. But one thing I would like to say first is no matter the years you want to spend on campus, you have to be intentional. about yourself, your identity. Because whatever you do for the next four, maybe at least the least is 4 years, whether you have to do an OND, HND, let's just say 4 years, DSC 4 years. Your course could be maybe 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, maybe with strike or you're in the medical field. But this is where I'm going. No matter the number of years you'll be spending on campus, hmm, at the end of these years, you are coming back to show forth what you did with all of these years. Yes. Even where you feel like, okay, your parents are not here, your mom is not here, your dad is not there with you and all, and you feel okay, you are now the what can I put it, the president of your life, let's put it like that. At the end of your tenure in school, you're still coming back to show us what you did. It's not like anybody's going to ask you that, oh yeah, bring a videotape, oh yeah, show us everything that happened. But whatever you have done will portray in your life after school. There are so many things that a lot of you are doing and you don't even know the repercussion. Some of you, these things will stand against you in the place of marriage. There are some people that it will stand against you in the place of securing a job. Sometimes your normal attitude, maybe because there's no parents to caution you, people can be so saucy. Somehow, the way you relate at times, you don't even know who is who. You don't know who will be your boss among your colleagues. You don't know who will be your destiny helper. And just because of one thing that you've done for one character, you just find out that you get to a point where you feel like, oh, you're about to eat it big. And then that thing will just come and stand against you. Something that you might have even forgotten about. So you have to be like very, very intentional. Whether in the case of money, what you do to get money, the kind of people you move with, your general perspective, how you left home thinking that, oh, maybe you had freedom, then maybe you got to school, started misbehaving. All of these things will show forth. And a lot of people would not even be so lucky. Some people will lose it along the line. There are a lot of people that they don't get to even finish their university education. So they would, they will just think, oh, they are enjoying life and everything, and why they should be careful, they just that they slipped away from their primary goal. And most people don't even have the luxury of finding somebody to put them back on track. Not everybody finds grace, and not everybody finds people that can, align them or match back their broken job. So I'm like imploring all undergraduates to be so very careful and be intentional about their personality.
Yeah.
And that even while you're studying, open your eyes to opportunities. I think the university is one of the widest ground. For me, I feel service, there's nothing in service. After all the 3 weeks fun, you are going to just, be somewhere working or so. Some of you, some of you have a mindset, at least it's not so related, but imagine you as, an undergraduate, you don't have a relationship. I'm not asking you to have a relationship now. I'm trying to make something. You just be like, oh, I'll see husband in service. And you go there and you be like, there's no husband. It's just like the same with opportunities. It is in school that you will get the biggest connect because university is so wild. There are so many things. I think there is a wedding job I will be delivering tomorrow or latest by Monday. The person that I did this wedding job for was my customer from the days that I was not even good yet. Not like I wasn't good, but I wasn't a classic designer. I wasn't into this, mad styles, updated styles and all. So she was one of those that managed my creativity and everything till I became a pro. Now I started having, wedding jobs. So I feel like there are so many opportunities that are in that university, and that's only if you can see it. And even if you cannot see it, move with people of, positive mindset, relate, talk about life reality. You should understand that there is a life after school. So even while you are trying to, get something, you still have a life you are open to reach. So open your eyes to opportunities and don't underestimate the face of God. Now let me now talk to the graduates, people in my category like that. Firstly, I want to ask that how is life treating you? Before our song was like, yay, I want to gain. Okay, I have a life change over. So first is like, I want to get admission. I want to get admission. And then we entered, life dealt with us. And like, I want to graduate. I want to graduate. And now we've graduated and we're like, what next? So that's like life reality. So first, I want to ask, how is life treating you? However, even while I'm trying to check up on you, one of the reality I would just like to give you is that once you're done with school, regardless your age, even when you feel like okay, you're starting, you have people that gain admission like about maybe age 15, by 19 or maybe 20, they are done. Not everybody has that gift. People like that would even feel like they are still small, they have parents. And you just shock them that once they are out with their parents, they're already adults. And they begin to hit life reality. You sit down too much in the house, you're in trouble. What are you doing? What are you can't you get a job? Can't you do this? So it begins to look like life is not palatable. You begin to get different sort of pressure. For example, you get pressure from your friends in terms of some people would begin to make it big immediately. Some people have parents that have worked through the ground for them and you are there, you are struggling, you are trying to give up. Some can come in aspect of marriage. You take some people that maybe once they are done like this, they start getting married. And then you look at yourself like, is there something that you are doing wrong? I want to advise you to like take it one at a time. There's no pressure anywhere. The fact that somebody has gone ahead of you does not mean that you cannot pursue. You definitely pursue. You will meet up and you can begin to go to even overtake. So just do your thing at your pace, but be sure that you are doing the right thing. Leaving school is launching into another aspect of life, like reality. Like you are an adult, you cannot you got leave the age. Whether you are a young graduate or maybe you're in your mid 20s or your late 20s or everything. Once you're out of school, just like you don't even get support again. Only few people are lucky. So I understand that life itself is overwhelming. I just want to tell you that just keep your head straight, have God as your backbone and as your backup so that even when life gets hits you very well, you still have that one supreme being that you can always go through. I don't even need to start breaking it. I know a lot of us are like we've seen, we are seeing, and we'll still see. Yes, some of us will have to dig, like we will dig ground before we can make it. But eventually, it can be in that situation that you're thinking that it's unpalatable. You're like, every day I just do this, I just do this. It can just be a step close to the goal, but just be sure you're doing the right thing and eventually don't don't give up. There's there's in fact whether it comes in the aspect of job, one reality about life that I've come to understand is there is no aspect you find yourself that you won't make challenges. So if you're taking in the aspect of job, your job can be so bad and you want another. Even when you get another, it has its own level of challenges. The challenges are a normal part of life. Some of you can be experiencing financial challenges. Some of you don't even know where to start from. Like what is next after school. Some of you don't even if you tell somebody, okay, take it this way. They are still like how. Some can't even think outside the box. But just align yourself with people that are on good track. Mingle. This life is just this is that person will ask road, they go through it. I'm not asking you to go in a negative direction. Even while we have bad things out there, we still have to go there. So if you have not, found your feet yet, it's not too late. You can start from somewhere. I know life is not rosy, but I know that you can actually make lemonade out of lemon. So even if it is sour, you can still get something beautiful. That's just like all I have. And there's no perfect life everywhere. And don't focus on timing. There's no pressure. There's no timing to success. Everybody should just do what they can do at their pace. And with God, we won't get there. So just like that.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for giving us that advice. Thank you for sharing yourself with us. Thank you for looking out for us. Thank you so much. I know there's some things that were personal to you, but you shared it to inspire someone, and I know that someone is going to be inspired by it. So, Tommy, I want to say well done. I want to say good job, and I want to wish you all the best in life. You know, with anything you want to do, any career path you want to take, anything you still want to add to what you are doing. I wish you all the best and see you at the top because I know you are going to get there. I know you are going to get there. I know you are going to, scale through whatever challenge might come because I don't want to say you've seen the worst, but let me just say that you've displayed strength when needed. And when they say we should pick a strong person. You will not think twice before we pick you, because you are a definition of someone that is strong. Strength in human form. That's the kind of person that you are, and I celebrate you. I honor you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for giving us your time. We are so grateful. Thank you so much. So yeah, adore.
Okay, thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah,
honored
welcome. Yeah,
for granted. More grace to you.
amen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a lovely night. Bye.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we are done. That was amazing. It was amazing. You know, listening to her share her story, so many things that she said. And I just want to say that people have gone through a lot, people are going through a lot. But whatever thing you are going through presently, don't allow it stop you from getting to where God wants you to get to. Because whether you like it or not, there is a place that God wants you to get to, and you must get there. Don't be the reason why you you don't get to where God is taking you to, because many people, God is helping them, they are praying for help every day, but God is helping them, but they are not taking steps. Take steps. It will not always be easy. It will not always be like the way your friend went through it. It might be different. No, who might, it will be different. That is how it is. So make sure you take steps and you're intentional about your journey. I hope you've been blessed tonight. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. This is the second to last section. Our last section is next week, Saturday. If you've not listened to the previous speakers, please go and listen to them, because you are missing out. So many insights, so many knowledge, so many things were dropped, and you should not miss out from them. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for staying to this moment. Thank you for subscribing. If you've not subscribed, please and please and please and please and please subscribe to our channel. Invite your friends, like our videos, tell people about it. Share to your departmental groups, to your fellowship groups, and everyone that you know that needs to see this, or join this conference, and you'll be a blessing to them through that. All right, thank you so much. My name is Catherine Tommy, and see you next week Saturday. And please reach out to us on our Instagram page if you have any question, you need any help, any assistance, anything. Just send us a message, solutions underscore to you. You see us there, and we are going to help you. Have a lovely night, everyone. Bye.